Have you ever wondered why the future of shopping sometimes feels, well, a little clunky? We get promised these super seamless, futuristic experiences, but then we end up fumbling with some frustrating new piece of tech. Today, we're going to dig into why one of the biggest companies in the world is actually ditching its most advanced technology for something that, on the surface, just looks like a step backward. In this picture, captured by GeekWire, pretty much says it all. You've got a reporter just trying to buy some drinks, but he's stuck waiting for an employee's app to unfreeze so he can get his ID checked. This is the reality of shopping with Amazon's high-tech Dash Cart. It's a scene a lot of us can relate to, right? The promise of speed just smacks right into the wall of reality. And it was this exact moment of frustration that sparked a little experiment.
So to figure out what was really going on, the team at GeekWire set up a simple contest. They decided to buy the exact same 10 items at an Amazon Fresh store, but in 3 different ways. First up, the classic method, regular cart, human cashier. The second way, using that Amazon Dash Cart, the smart car with all the built-in scanners. And finally, option 3, the super futuristic just walk out technology, where cameras and sensors track everything you grab and you just leave. So, place your bets. Which one do you think was the fastest?
Well, the results weren't even close. Traditional checkout, it clocked in at about 14 minutes. That clunky, high-tech Dash Cart did save a little time, coming in at around 12 minutes, but the winner, by a landslide, was the Just Walk Out tech. The whole trip was done in under 9 minutes. It was faster, it was way more seamless, and by all accounts, it was just a better experience.
And this is where the story gets really weird. Right after this technology clearly proved it was superior, Amazon announced it was ripping Just Walk Out from most of its big grocery stores. And what were they betting on instead? You guessed it. The slower, clunkier, more frustrating Dash Cart. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense, right? Unless the race was never about checkout speed in the first place.
To understand what's really going on here, we need to talk about a really powerful concept called a digital twin. Put simply, it's a perfect virtual copy of something in the real world. In this case, it's a copy of the entire grocery store. And this digital copy isn't just a static model, it's alive. It's constantly being fed real-time data from the physical store, which lets a company run simulations, predict problems, and optimize absolutely everything without ever having to move a single real-world shelf.
So what actually makes one of these things? Well, this slide breaks it down perfectly. On the left, you've got the brains of the operation, all the abstract concepts like AI, complex simulations, and massive data analysis. And on the right, you have the senses, the physical hardware out in the store, the sensors, the cameras, the RFID tags that are constantly feeding information from the real world back into that virtual model.
Okay, so what can a store actually do with a digital twin? Well, the possibilities are kind of mind-blowing. They can test a whole new store layout virtually just to see how it changes the way you walk through the aisles. They can predict that a certain kind of chip is going to sell out on Friday night and automatically restock it ahead of time. They can see which aisles are the most popular, or even get an alert that a refrigerator is about to break down before it actually happens. It's all about creating total operational awareness.
And believe me, this isn't just some secret corporate project happening in a boardroom. A deep dive into academic papers shows that research into digital twins for retail is absolutely exploding. And you can see here the biggest areas of focus are exactly what you'd expect, making the supply chain perfect and, of course, predicting customer behavior. This is a massive global trend in both the business world and the research community.
So why is everyone so obsessed with this? Well, the potential payoff is enormous. The market for digital twin technology is projected to hit a staggering $53 billion by 2028. This was never just about saving you a few minutes at the checkout line. It's about completely re-engineering the multi-trillion-dollar retail industry to be as efficient as humanly and digitally possible.
But it's really important to remember that this technology isn't just for shopping. To see how differently it can be used, we just have to look around the world. In Russia, for example, the data shows that the biggest driver for this kind of computer vision tech isn't retail at all. It's government projects, things like safe city surveillance programs. For them, retail is a much smaller piece of the pie. It just goes to show you, the underlying technology might be the same, but the application can shift dramatically from state security to consumer convenience.
But look, this tech is not a magic bullet. There are some really significant trade-offs here. The benefits? They're obvious. Super efficient supply chains, less food waste, better experiences for us. But the challenges are just as real. These incredibly complex systems create brand new vulnerabilities for cyber attacks. Analyzing all that data is insanely complicated. And, as the research points out, these autonomous systems, they aren't truly autonomous yet. They almost always need a human in the loop to make the final call.
And this brings us right back to Amazon's strange decision. See, the Dash Cart isn't competing with Just Walk Out as a checkout system. It serves a completely different purpose. Every single item you scan, every time you look up a product on its little screen, every weird path you take through the store, it's all data. That cart is basically a fleet of mobile sensors, actively building and feeding that all-important digital twin.
So that leads us to the final big question. The ultimate goal here isn't just to make your shopping trip faster, it's to make the entire operation of the store perfectly predictable, perfectly simulated, and perfectly optimized. Just Walk Out solved a problem for the customer, but the Dash Cart, it's busy solving a much, much bigger problem for the company. So as our physical world gets mirrored more and more perfectly into these digital simulations, it's worth asking ourselves, what is the true price of all this convenience?